I must say, I'm a little bit in trepidation, man, because you've got that 1,000-yard stare in your eyes and you're looking like you're about to do me something. So I'm going to try and negotiate this one as best as I can. But on a serious note, man, what can I say? Depressing. 2-1 defeat today when really it should have been a must-win for Arsenal, but it was anything near that. We were roundly beaten today and very disappointing way to go into 2024. But Turkish, articulate in your own words what you thought of today's performance.
Don't know how articulate it's going to be, but I'm vexed.
I can see that, man. I'm genuinely worried. Like, you're looking at me like you want to take out your frustrations on me, bro.
You know what? I'm vexed because it's like I feel like I've been fooled, because a couple of weeks ago, I can't lie, I believed more that would be in and around the conversation come May than I did at this time last season. Even though our record was better and at the halfway point we had more points, more goals scored, there was just something about it. But 1 win in 5 games. Listen, Man City can afford to do that because Arsenal and Liverpool are not at the level where they have taken advantage of it. So Man City could afford to have that 1 win in 6 or 5, whatever that poor patch of form.
Okay, so let's cut to the chase, right? Sorry to interrupt, but let's cut to the chase. 1 win in 5, 2 straight defeats against teams that, let's be honest, man, if you're going to be winning titles, you should really be, if not beating them, definitely not losing to them. Tell me in your own words, what's gone wrong?
Look, Arteta, a lot lies on Arteta right now. And let me provide some context to this, so give me a chance here, because a few people might bring up a few weeks ago, I said Arteta has special qualities. I don't know if it was here or on FCM, wherever it was, Arteta has special qualities. I stand by that. He's got special qualities because he brought us from where we was to a place where we now expect to be in and around the conversation for the title come May. So that's why I said he's got special qualities. But at the same time, he's still inexperienced. At the end of last season, when Saliba and Tomiyasu got injured, it was over to the manager to make it work, and he failed. The players that stepped in were not of the required level, and at the end of the day, it was a player in particular, Rob Holding, that he kept hold of over the years. Even though we brought in Kivior in January as well, which we're going to move on to shortly. So that was his first big issue at the highest level for me. He had issues before then, but this was in a title race. Issues have popped up, and he has to sort it out. And in the end, he couldn't. And Man City won the title. This season, issues have been peaking throughout the season. I've mentioned the fluidity. And every single person in the comment section, that video where I mentioned fluidity, like, this is. Talk to me now. Talk to me now about it, because it's caught up to us. At the end of the day, I said them times it could go one way or the other. We can click, and then we improve, and into the second half of the season we kick on. Not in a similar fashion to last season, but the opposite, where at the end of the season we're stronger. But at this moment in time, 20 games in, 1 win in 5, and looking at Man City, who have gone through a poor patch, and listen, that was their poorest patch in 5 years. I can't expect them to go through that poorer patch again in the next 19 games. So at this moment in time, my belief and hope that we're going to win the Premier League has faded. And people might say, reactionary, and we can still win it. But do I believe now? I don't believe. Mikel needs to look in the mirror. A lot of people are saying at halftime, what should he say to the players? Fuck the players for a second. Go look in the mirror and ask yourself, was it worth changing up tactically this season compared to last? Was it worth that? Was it worth nullifying the exciting football, the free-flowing, eye-catching football that was breeding a hell of a lot of goals across the forward line? Was it worth changing that for what? More aerial duels won? And a bit more of grittiness in the midfield? Was it worth it? Because our points tally says it wasn't, the goals scored says it wasn't, and the goals conceded says it wasn't. So this is a big problem for Mikel at the highest level again. The second biggest problem at the highest level he's faced. The last one, he failed at the end of last season. This one now, he needs to fix it. Forget the stubbornness and the arrogance. He needs to fix it, because Havertz is dead. Yeah? He might pop up here and there.
Big statement.
He's dead. He might pop up here and there and provide something, but he's never going to be a key player over 90 minutes for you. Never. Yeah? So that was already a flunk. He's flopped with that signing. Yeah? Keeping hold of Eddie as your second choice striker, and then 19 games in saying we need to do better in both boxes. Excuse me? Let's talk about the attacking box then, Mikel, that we should be doing better in. You left us with Jesus and Eddie and Ketia. Now, I put them both in the same sentence because they're both our strikers, right? They don't belong in the same sentence quality-wise because Jesus is another level. But if we're talking in the box, then they belong in the same sentence. Because Jesus and Eddie in the box, they're not good enough. They are not good enough. So don't talk to me about we need to be better in the box when you could have done something about it. Now we're not in a transfer window, and even in January, it's a problem that I don't believe we can fix. Wholeheartedly, I don't believe we can fix this problem in January. But something does need to be tweaked. Same way he tweaked something going into this season and changing up the way we play for more control, as the fools in the comment section told me when I talked about fluidity. Oh, we've got more control. You know, we want to dominate more. We want to see games out better than we did last season. Well, talk to me now then, people. Same people in the comment section of that video, come into this comment section and talk to me now. Because I wanted to be wrong. That's why...
You sound like Leon Edwards.
Even a few weeks ago, Laurie, yeah, I said... what did I say? I said, I've got concerns, but fuck my concerns. That's what I said. Because we're top of the table and listen, you know, Man City were in a poor patch of form and it looked rosy. I've got concerns. Today, it's not fuck my concerns. Today, those concerns need to be fixed. They need to be fixed because we're no longer in the first half of the season. We are in the second half of the season now. And yes, there's still 18 games to go. But we are now coming up against Man City and Liverpool. And we're coming up from behind. So the reality is we're not protecting a lead over Man City like we did last season. We're trying to catch, or we're going to be in a position trying to catch the two strongest teams of the last 6-7 years. Two of the strongest teams this country has ever seen. Because as much as Liverpool have only won one league title, they've got players in there, and the team that Klopp created was so strong that they can be compared to the greatest. It's just Man City are just Man City.
Okay, so you've spelled out your concerns, and many of them I do agree with, but I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit now. You've said a lot about what's not happening. What do you think needs to happen in 2024 so that we can at least challenge for the title?
Needs to get us out of this rut, how he does it. I don't know, Laurie, because it's easy for me to say, go back to what we was doing last season. It's easy for me to say that, but he obviously doesn't really want to, and I don't think he's got the resources to anymore. We should have... I'm going to go back into ranting again because we knew Partey's injury prone. And we also knew that Declan Rice is not Thomas Partey. So today, Declan Rice is going to get criticism. And Declan Rice was very poor today. 100%. He was very poor. I said it on the watch along. But we're looking for Declan Rice to try create something. He didn't come in for that, or he isn't built for that. We should have upgraded or replaced or brought in someone to compete with Thomas Partey or Bukayo Saka. Poor again. Near enough abysmal today. Who did we bring in? We could have brought in Kudus and Diaby for roughly the same price as Havertz this summer. So, like, when you ask me, like, what needs to be done, it's not me it's Mikel that needs to sort it. Because I'm going to go back, I'm going to calm down. Mikel has got special qualities. He's brought us into a conversation for the title. He's raised the expectation. And even opposition fans are talking about Arsenal in a title race, or have been. They'll laugh today and they'll say, you know, oh, it's the same old Arsenal. But they talked it. That's because of Mikel Arteta and what he's done over the last 3 years. But that doesn't excuse the mistakes he's made as well. Because I said we'll go back to Kivior. You bought Kivior in January, 25 mil, and then you sub him off at half-time because he's not doing what you want him to do, or you don't... Isn't that Tavares all over again? I'm not saying it's as bad as Tavares, but as many good signings as Mikel's made, he's made a hell of a lot of bad ones too. So I can't lie to you. I'm vexed. I don't want to say.
I can see that.
I don't want to say the wrong thing. I don't want to say the wrong thing. But best believe if we drop off this season and come the end of the season, we're nowhere near the top. Come the end of the season, we're out of the FA Cup. Come the end of the season, Champions League whimpered to the quarterfinals. Not good enough, and questions should be asked.
Quite rightly. Okay, let's wrap this up because I get you. I feel your pain, man. But 2024 is around the corner. Give me something positive.
Don't ask me. I'm not. Nah, there's no positive. Laurie, 1 win in 5 games, and you're asking me for something positive. I'll tell you, I'm going to see my son now. That's the positive I'm going to end on.
That sounds positive enough to me.
Positive.
Happy New Year, bro.